Gaffers, and welcome to Gaffer Tapes. 3 things learnt from Game Week 2. This show will alternate between myself at Stoke Gaffer Kyle and Joel at FF_Joel. So for Game Week 2, I'll go into the first thing that I've learnt from the last game week, which is Callum Robinson now looks to be nailed. He is a 9.1 midfielder who's just gone up in price for West Bromwich Albion. Callum Robinson is playing out of position as a centre forward. It seemed to be that the potential was there when he played, and it looks like he is the starting striker now that rumours have dialed down about Clark Harris and other strikers such as DK seem to have died down now, and Callum Robinson is earning his stripes, literally playing for West Brom as the starting centre forward. He's got the joint most shots in the Championship so far, the joint second most shots on target in the Championship as well as 2 goals and 1 assist, having just scored and assisted against Luton in Game Week 2. So he started the first 2 games, but he was subbed off in the last game on the 71st minute, but I do wonder if that was to do with West Brom playing on Wednesday in a tough game against Sheffield United, and the game was pretty much won at 3-1. So Callum Robinson is nailed at West Brom. He looks to have claimed the centre forward spot. So the next one is Brereton-Diaz is the standout forward below 10.0. And as Joel mentioned in the Game Week 1 3 things learnt, Blackburn are very attacking. This was something that seemed to have continued from last season when Adam Armstrong played for them. So it looks like Tony Mowbray is the reason that Blackburn are so attacking, and maybe not all to do with Adam Armstrong. But Brereton-Diaz, the Chilean Stokey, who, by the way, I'll just mention that I have a few mates that went to his school and they all rave about him, so he must be good. But he's the main man now Armstrong has left, and he's been starting out wide, but very much in an inverted inside forward role, similar to Mane and Salah at Liverpool. He got the 4th most performance bonus score in the entire of last season as well, of the current forwards in GAFFR, and it's only 8.1. He was 8.0 starting price. He looks to be one of the best value forwards, someone who is likely to score goals playing in a very attacking team, and he's already off the mark with 2 goals in 2 games, like Callum Robinson. So the same stats as Robinson, just as a forward for 8.1 now, but looks to be a good player for this season. And the third thing that I've learned so far is that Fulham attackers seem to be more trustworthy than Fulham defenders. So Fulham are very attacking. They have scored the most goals in the Championship so far. The caveat to mention is, of course, playing against Huddersfield, who had a number of absentees due to COVID. But they've had 15.5 shots per game over the first 2 games. This is the second most in the Championship, behind West Brom. It looks like the attacking players are all nailed now. Mitrovic is the centre forward, and the 3 behind him. Harry Wilson on the right, Carvalho in the centre, and Bobby Reid, now he's back from the Gold Cup, on the left. Harry Wilson, of course, was sent off in game week 2, so you might want to replace him with another Fulham player maybe, or Callum Robinson. They would be my 2 tips. But Carvalho's 5.0 and Bobby Reid is 8.5. So good value alternatives to Harry Wilson, and both players that you could hold long term as well. But I would avoid the Fulham defenders, Kenny Tete at 6.0 and Anthony Robinson at 6.5, because Fulham, for all their good work going forward and the goals that they've scored so far, they seem to leak goals under Marco Silva, and this is a trend that seems to have continued under Marco Silva from his previous roles, managing Hull, Watford and Everton in the Premier League. And it was a different division, of course, but his teams do tend to play in the same way, and they are very attacking, but this leaves them exposed defensively, and that shows in the goals conceded per game. Marco Silva's Premier League teams conceded between 1.42 and 1.95 goals per game, which is very high. And if this continues into the Championship, then Fulham might struggle to get promoted automatically. They will concede too many goals to be able to win games consistently, as they showed on the opening game of the season against Middlesbrough, when they drew 1-1 despite being by far the better team in terms of possession and shots on goal. So Fulham have conceded 2 goals, 2 sloppy goals, it has to be said. One against Middlesbrough and one against Huddersfield from a set piece. This was only from 1 expected goal conceded, which shows that the defending needs to be worked on in order to stop small chances turning into goals conceded. So for me, maybe the Fulham attacking triple up might be a better use of budget than 2 Fulham attackers and a defender, maybe. So that's something to consider from Fulham. And yeah, going into a good run of fixtures now for Fulham without Harry Wilson. That might have an impact, but Marco Silva's team will continue to play in the same way. That rounds up my 3 things learnt from game week 2. I hope you found that useful, particularly with replacing Harry Wilson with another midfielder from an attacking team. And yeah, in Callum Robinson, you have a player that looks to be even better for returns than Harry Wilson. So yeah, with the joint most shots on goal in the Championship so far, and the second most shots on target, you're probably getting a player that is likely to score more goals than Harry Wilson long term. So yeah, I would recommend Callum Robinson. If you already have 3 West Brom players, then I would go to one of the Fulham attacking midfielders. You can drop all the way down to Fabio Carvalho, or you can invest in Bobby Reid or Ivan Cavallero. But it's worth also mentioning that Harry Wilson is only missing for 2 Championship games, as he'll serve one of his game bans for the sending off in the Carabao Cup. So that's all for this video, and we'll be back next week with another team planning video, myself and Joel, and we'll go into fixtures and stats and our teams in more detail. So thanks for watching.